arrest me because we issue ultimatum to the criminally minded Igbo who were destroying private properties and Yoruba properties across Lagos when they are not from our homeland. So because the Igbo HIPOP, Nnamdi Kanu HIPOP, had an agreement with MI6 to try to assassinate Tinubu, so that was when MI6 asked the police here to bring me in because they know that we have the resources and we have the brain to actually carry out whatever it is that we have stated. We said that they have to leave our space because they wanted to kill our leaders, Tinubu. So during my appearance in court, when you are arrested, you will be taken to court. And the magistrate judge asked me what was the problem, and I explained the reason why we issued that ultimatum, that the Igbo are not Yoruba. Yoruba land is not part of Igbo land. We did not enslave or colonize Igbo, so they have no legitimate claim over Yoruba land. They were enslaved and colonized by the English, so they can come to England and do street protests. They have no such right in Yoruba land because we did not colonize them, and Yoruba land is not an extension of their land. And I explained then to the judge that we issued this because they wanted to assassinate our leaders. So the police then were asked to explain to my explanation, and the police said that they have to bring me in because of that ultimatum. The judge said to them that, but he has explained the reason why he made that ultimatum. The judge asked, who is Nnamdi Kanu? Because it was Nnamdi Kanu that I mentioned his name, who made an audio directing Igbo to go and kill Sanwo-Olu, to go and kill Tinubu and destroy everything. So the police excused themselves, went outside to get information as regards Nnamdi Kanu, and they came back to the court room and said to the judge that Nnamdi Kanu is in Singapore or Malaysia. On the basis of that information, when I spoke after my release, then the judge asked me to go, but she was concerned about the statement I made about what happened in 1967. Because in that my ultimatum, I said to the Igbo that we will treat you how we treated you in 1967. Then I explained to the judge that in 1967, the Igbo attacked Ore in Ondo State, which is Yoruba land. But we were not at war with them. They were at war with the Fulani. But rather than attacking Fulani, they attacked Yoruba land. And we give them a reprisal attack in the process. And that is what we're going to do again, because they have staged another attack in Yoruba land called Hensas. So after I explained to the judge said that I can go, but I should not just try and create trouble or problem or anything. I said, okay, I will try. But if there is any threat on Yoruba nation, we will speak again. So that was how I left. And that was how I got the information that Nnamdi Kanu is not in the United Kingdom. Now, when Nnamdi Kanu was recently arrested, allegedly arrested by the federal government, then there was another information that he was arrested in the United Kingdom. The UK High Commissioner in Nigeria said, no, that was wrong. That Nnamdi Kanu was not even in the United Kingdom. Then another country name was mentioned, Kenya, that he has gone to Kenya to try and procure arms and ammunition for the Biafra struggle. Folks, I can tell you for a fact that Nnamdi Kanu was never arrested. Nnamdi Kanu surrendered. When Mr. Malami spoke, the Attorney General of Nigeria, he did not disclose how or the country Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in, because Nnamdi Kanu wasn't arrested. Nnamdi Kanu surrendered. So all of the claims were wrong. Why did he surrender? Nnamdi Kanu surrendered on the basis of one reason and one reason only. The Biafra agitation was exposed as a forgery after Buhari insisted in an interview with the Arise TV that Igbo land is a landlocked nation. This is one thing that the young Yoruba for Freedom have been saying for so many years. You don't listen to us when we say that. When we made a video about Yoruba land being the economic backbone of Nigeria, you didn't believe us until the Oba of Lagos stated that 70% of the federal inland revenue taxes collected in Nigeria is collected in Lagos. We gave the figure as 80% when you calculate the other Yoruba states. We say Yoruba alone will contribute 80% of the federal inland revenue taxes. You didn't believe us there. There were also in that report that we said that 60% of the VAT collected in Nigeria is collected from Lagos State. You didn't believe us until the Federal Minister for Finance, that Yoruba woman, she came to Lagos when she was still the Minister for Finance and said that Lagos State alone contribute 55% of the VAT generated in Nigeria. And this is the same thing we said in our whole report, that it was 60%. She said 55. We said 60%. When we said 60%, you guys didn't believe us. But until that minister said the same thing. So there's so much that we have done that you do not even reckon with. We have been saying since 2015 that Biafra is a fraud. We actually call it Biafra. We said that Igbo is landlocked, that they are the only landlocked nation on planet Earth who is not proud of their nation. We said to you that Lesotho is inside South Africa, and that country refused to merge with South Africa. They are landlocked, yet they are striving, they are surviving, and they are making their country great, except Igbo. Because they are landlocked, they want to appropriate Edo land, they want to appropriate Ijo land, Urhobo land, Efik Ibibio land as part of their land, which they now call Biafra. And we said that is wrong. But when Mr. Buhari said that Igbo land is a dot in a circle, everybody sees it as a big fraud. Because of that exposure, the Igbo leader, led by Senator Abaribe and Ike Ekerimandu, do not forget that Ike Ekerimandu propounded the theory that the military should take over in 2018 because they don't want Tinubu to be president. Now, John Nwodo too was there. This is what happened that we're telling you. They concluded that now that the Biafra agitation has been exposed, everyone now knows that the Igbo are not marginalized. The Igbo are the greatest beneficiary of the fraudulent unitary system. The Igbo created the unitary system. What we had was parliamentary system and long regional system. But because Igbo land is poor, miserable, and wretched, and their people lack human capital, they destroy that system through the use of violence. And they don't want us to go back to regional government. Now that we have exposed them, that they are fraudulent, that the agitation for Biafra is a fraud. And this is now backed up by Mr. Buhari. So the Igbo leader said to Nnamdi Kanu that the game is up. Because everyone is now saying that give them their Indibo Republic. Biafra will not be possible. And when Mr. Buhari spoke to Arise TV, he was very grateful to the Ijaw leaders. He called them the South-South youth and the South-South leaders. He said they have spoken out that they are not part of Biafra. That statement is coming from the president of Nigeria. It's a very powerful statement, saying that these people, the Edo, the Urhobo, the Ijaw, the Efik Ibibio, he thanked them and said that they have done well by deassociating themselves from the agitation for Biafra. So everybody now realizes that Biafra is not a reality. Biafra is a fraud, and Igbo land is landlocked. They don't have crude oil. They don't have waterway. They lack human capital. They don't have mineral and natural resources. That is the truth. They only have coal. They are poor in all ramifications. All the noise that they are making is because they want to keep Nigeria as one. That is the motivating factor for Senator Abaribe, Senator Ike Ekerimandu, John Nwodo, and other Igbo leaders to convince Nnamdi Kanu to surrender himself. He was assured that he will be treated very well. He was assured that it is necessary for him to live a peaceful life. So I have told you since 11th of June, 2021, before it was declared that Nnamdi Kanu has been arrested, I said in that speech that Nnamdi Kanu will be arrested, he will be brought back home, and he will be free, like the Boko Haram who have been arrested. He has been arrested. He has surrendered. He was not arrested. That there's a difference between somebody surrender and somebody being arrested. No, he was not arrested. He surrendered for the greater good of the Igbo nation. And what their target is to accept the fact that they are landlocked. Now, what is the terms of the surrender? When they were negotiating with the federal government, you will realize that there was a breaking news that Senator Abaribe has been arrested or something like that. It's all bullshit. They negotiated with the Fulani-led federal government. They said that they will bring Nnamdi Kanu back home on one condition. And what was the condition? That the coalition government of the Fulani and the Igbo be reinstated in 2023. What does that mean? If you look at Nigeria, we have had 11 federal elections. And you know this because we've been saying this for a long. Number 1, 1959. Number 2, 1964. Number 3, 1979. Number 4, 1983. Number 5, 1993. Number 6, 1999. Number 7, 2003. Number 8, 2007. Number 9, 2011. Number 10, 2015. And number 11, 2019. These are the 11 federal elections we have had. In 11 federal elections we've had, Fulani and Igbo have had 8 coalition governments. 8. That means Fulani and the Igbo, in 11 times that we have had elections in Nigeria, Fulani and Igbo have formed the federal government 8 times. Number 1, in 1959, it was the government of Balewa and Zik, Fulani and Igbo. In 1964, it was the government of Balewa and Zik, Fulani and Igbo. In 1979, it was the government of Shagari and Alex Ekweme, Fulani and Igbo. 1983, it was the government of Shagari and Alex Ekweme, Fulani and Igbo. 1999, it was the government of Obasanjo and Atiku. Obasanjo is Igbo. Atiku is Fulani. Again, Fulani and Igbo controlling the federal government. In 2003, it was the government of Obasanjo and Atiku, Fulani and Igbo. In 2017, it was the government of Yaradua and Jonathan. Yaradua is Fulani. Jonathan is Ijo. He called himself Ebele. He said he's Igbo. So it was the government of the Igbo in 2007. 2011, Jonathan and Sambo. It was the government of Igbo and Hausa Fulani. So in 11 elections, Fulani and the Igbo have formed the federal government 8 consecutive times. This was the only condition that the federal government-led Fulani assured the Igbo leaders to ensure the surrender of Nnamdi Kanu. They said that they want the coalition government back in 2023. They want a Fulani as president in 2023 with Igbo as vice president. That is the reason why Nnamdi Kanu surrendered after the Biafra agitation has been exposed as a fraud. Remember, folks, in 1993, there was no government. Abiola won the election, a Yoruba citizen, but the Igbo and Fulani annulled that election. So there was no government. Now, in the 11 election that we have had, 11 times, Igbo and Fulani form coalition government. That means they control the federal government 8 times. The Yoruba control the federal government twice with the Fulani. It was the first time in the history of Nigeria. Yoruba has never controlled the federal government until 2015, in which Buhari, Fulani, and Oshibajo control the federal government. In 2019, it is the second time the Yoruba have controlled the federal government with Buhari and Oshibajo. The Igbo are not happy about this. You will recollect that Nnamdi Kanu started agitating for Biafra. Immediately, Jonathan was defeated in 2015. He started the agitation because for the first time, Fulani have, Igbo rather, have lost the control of the federal government. So Nnamdi Kanu surrendered on the condition that 2023, there will be the coalition government of Fulani and Igbo. The Igbo leaders who met with the Fulani to agree on the terms of Nnamdi Kanu's surrender wanted a coalition government of Fulani and Igbo in 2023. The candidates they are proposing to bring into that coalition is Sule Lamido. That is the candidate of Mr. Obasanjo. If that will not be the case, there will be another Fulani with Igbo, and they are proposing Soludo to be the vice presidential candidate in that expected coalition government. That was the reason why Nnamdi Kanu surrendered himself. There is a plus on their side. The government in England wants the Fulani and the Igbo coalition government in 2023. The government in England is scared of the prospect of Tinubu presidency. They know that Tinubu tend to work more with the United States of America than he will want to work with England. And Tinubu is more open to Germany, than England. You know, during the 1993 struggle, Tinubu wanted to go and bring German machine. He has good relationship with them. So if Tinubu becomes president, he would definitely and most likely sideline the government in England. So they don't want that. So that was the terms of the surrender. So Nnamdi Kanu was never arrested, he surrendered. You will see that Nnamdi Kanu will be treated with respect and dignity in custody. He will definitely apologize to the people of Nigeria. He will apologize to the federal government of Nigeria. Ojukwu did the same thing. He will then call on the Igbo nation to accept to be part of Nigeria for peace and development. Not really for peace and development, because they never wanted out of Nigeria in the first place, because they are landlocked, they have no mineral and natural resources, they lack the human capital to build a viral and sustainable nation. They are a horrible set of people. That is why all Igbo, wherever they are always into criminal activities. Look at the video that has been circulated now about Igbo who kill people in Dubai or Oman, that they have stopped granting visa. Look at the 21-year-old Igbo lady who committed murder in Yoruba. You can imagine what they do. You will never hear of a Yoruba young lady going to Igbo land to commit such atrocity. It is terrible. So don't be fooled. Nnamdi Kanu surrendered himself. On or before 2023, Nnamdi Kanu will advise the Igbo nation to vote for Sule Lamido or any other Fulani who will be promised to release him from custody. That is going to be the deal that is going to do. The candidate is Sule Lamido. They are working on him. Folks, I want you to remember something. In 1976, Awolowo won the election. You remember that Awolowo, after the election, 3 people contested: Awolowo, Shagari, and Zik. So Awolowo and Shagari came first and second. Shagari came first, Awolowo came second. But the margin between the two of them were very close. So what was expected was a rerun. The Fulani were shocked that the Kanuri people voted for Awolowo. The Efik Ibibio people voted for Awolowo. Edo Urobo voted for Awolowo, and a lot of the middle belt. So what was expected was a rerun. Zik was to be disqualified, and the 2 other candidates, Awolowo and Shagari, were to go for a rerun. Obasanjo was scared that Awolowo will win. So Obasanjo declared Shagari as the winner. So they went to court. A trial was done over the result, and the judge said that a human being can be half, which is not possible. That was how the scenario came 12-12. If they have allowed for a rerun, Awolowo will win the Kanuri vote, he will win the Middle Belt vote, he will win the what is called South today, and he will win the Yoruba vote, he will become the president. So they don't want to take that risk. That was why they reached that election of 1979. Again, in 1983, we've just been told by former governor of Ogun State that Awolowo actually won that election. I never knew that. But you expect someone like Olusegun Oshoba to be an authority. He cannot just speak because he was the former governor of Ogun State. So that, again, shows that we were stopped in 1983 by the Igbo and Fulani. In 1979, we were stopped again by the Igbo and Fulani. Again, in 1993, Abiola Yoruba won the election. Again, Igbo and Fulani stopped us. So what they are planning, now that they have secured the surrender of Nnamdi Kanu, everything they will play, the scenario they will play, they will be going to court and do all manners of things. It's all bullshit. You remember in 2015, Nnamdi Kanu campaigned through 2015 to 2019, right, that there will not be election. But 2 days to the election, he asked his stupid Igbo people to go and vote for Atiku. Yet, all of them want to come and die in Yoruba. Why is he not asking his people to go to Hausa? You understand? He said to his people to come and to go and vote for Atiku. So what they are doing now, that they have secured the surrender terms of Nnamdi Kanu, now the same thing they did in 2019 is what they are doing now towards 2023. You will recollect that in 2019, Fayose wanted to get the tickets of the PDP, the presidential ticket. The Fulani asked Atiku, Bukola Saraki, Tambua, and the rest of them to decamp from the APC and move to the PDP. So when they got to the PDP party, the Igbo controlled that party and the South. So they gave the ticket, they sold the ticket to Atiku. So now 2 minority ethnic groups, 2 presidential candidates from the minority Fulani ethnic group contested the 2019 presidential election. We Yoruba, that we are the majority and the economic backbone of Nigeria, we don't even have candidates in 2019. So it's the same game they are playing. This is how they are doing it this time around. All the PDP governors are now decamping to the APC. So you know what that means? There will be a convention. From that at that convention, they will elect their presidential candidate. And Fulani will come out, obviously, as well as Tinubu. All of these PDP governors that are now decamping to the APC, they will be the people that will select the delegate that will vote at the convention of the APC in 2022. So they will just instruct all of these delegates to vote for a particular Fulani candidate. Everything will be televised live, the way they normally do it. And they will count the vote. At the end of it all, they will declare Fulani as president and that Tinubu lost the election. That is their plan. So they are doing everything humanly possible to make sure that a Yoruba citizen does not become the president of Nigeria. That's all their game plan. But let me say this authoritatively. Lagos remains the battleground. We would shut down Lagos if Tinubu is not allowed to be president. We Yoruba, we are the Caucasian of Nigeria. We are the English of Nigeria. Whatever makes the Caucasians to rule over African Americans in America, because they are the majority in terms of the population of the United States, and because they are the economic backbone of the United States, we Yoruba, we rule over the Igbo and Hausa Fulani from 2023. Whatever makes the English to rule over the Scottish, to rule over the Welsh, to rule over the Northern Irish in Britain, because they are the majority in terms of the population of the United Kingdom, and they are the economic backbone, we Yoruba will also rule. Otherwise, we will break up Nigeria. Only Yoruba nation can say authoritatively that if a Yoruba citizen is not allowed to be president of Nigeria, Yoruba will opt out of the country. Igbo cannot say that if an Igbo is not allowed to be president of Nigeria, then the Igbo-speaking nation will opt out of Nigeria. They can't say it because they are parasites. They cannot be on their own because they lack everything to be great. Hausa Fulani can never utter that statement, saying that if a Hausa Fulani is not allowed to be president of Nigeria, they will opt out of the country peacefully. They cannot. We Yoruba are the only nation inside Nigeria that can speak authoritatively like that. The only reason why we have not been able to rule in the like manner that the Caucasians rule over African America in America is because we don't understand the need for allies. This is one thing that the Fulani have used successfully to hold on to power. They go to the English, promise the English that, look, we don't have anything in Nigeria, but if you give us guns to rule, we will take the Yoruba wealth and give you a certain percentage. And the English have been doing that since 1960. So when you have Fulani in power, the Fulani takes the control of our crude oil in Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, and Ishekiri land and give part of this to the English to fund economic growth and development in England. When Fulani are in power, they take the control of our waterways and give the wealth, part of it, to the English. When you put Fulani in power, they control our seaport. They control the taxes in Yoruba. They control all the mineral resources in Yoruba and give part of the proceeds to the English. That's why you see England very beautiful. It is your wealth, Yoruba, that they are using to build England. So if you give part of your wealth to America, you will secure the future of your descendants. Why is it that Yoruba, you are scattered all over the world? You are scattered all over the world doing horrible things. Why? It is because you do not have the knowledge of self-preservation or the knowledge to lobby America. You continue to condemn these people as white, yet they never colonize you. So it is high time that we embrace the fundamental desire to speak to the good people of the United States of America to come to our aid. We should stop the nonsense that Professor Banji Akintoye and Sunday Igboho are doing to destroy our civilization. We will stop that. So, and lastly, there is a link that we have supplied you, which is showing. If you want to register to vote in the 2023 election, INEC has released a link that you can click to register to vote. So those of you who are watching me live, you will see the link below this video. We want you to go and register as a voter or to transfer your polling unit. So the website is there. Click on it and do the needful. We must put a full-blooded Yoruba citizen as the president of Nigeria in 2023. And to quickly say this, the statement made by Mr. President Buhari calling the Igbo dot in a circle is actually correct. The Igbo nation is landlocked. But we will be doing disservice if we don't speak the truth. Hausa Fulani nation, they are a dot in the desert. They are landlocked. They have no crude oil. They have no waterways. They lack human capital. They are just typical of the Igbo. So both of them are one and the same thing. Both of them brought down a democratic government in 1966. They suspended the regional government, introduced the unitary autocratic government in 1966. There is nothing that has changed in what IPOB are doing. They are blaming the amalgamation, but it was the Igbo who destroyed Nigeria because they suspended an agreed constitution. They are the same thing, like the Hausa Fulani. Hausa Fulani don't want us to go back to that system. Igbo don't want us to go back to that system. Both of them are undermining the greatness of the Yoruba nation. They are the problem of Nigeria. but we must do something and do it fast. We must talk to the United States of America to come to the aid of the Yoruba nation. So, folks, I thank you so much for listening to